Hey there, I'm Kate from Hazel Bea, and thanks for popping in. We are so excited that you're here today. If you're here and want to learn a little bit about me, you can stick around and I'll tell you a little bit about me and my shop. And if you're just looking to shop, you can hit the shop now button. There's a promo code running on our booties, which is one of our most loved items in the shop. And I just hope you're having fun. So a little bit about me. I have always been a maker. I've always been creative. I've always wanted to do something creative. When I went to university, I did my degree in gerontology. So I became a rec therapist in a large nursing home, which was really fun because it allowed me actually to be really creative, and I got to do programming and art therapy and things like that. And then I got pregnant with my oldest daughter, and I was really excited to just make and do, and I was going to be like the ultimate Pinterest mother. I had, the Pinterest boards, Pottery Barn had nothing on what I was going to do. And then about 11 weeks into my pregnancy, I got very sick with hyperemesis, which you may have heard of from Amy Schumer or Kate Middleton. And I ended up being in the hospital for the majority of my pregnancy. And I couldn't do anything. And as a coping mechanism, I needed something to do, but what can you do in the hospital? So I knew how to knit, and I said to my husband, can you go to Michael's and get me some yarn and some knitting needles, and I'm just gonna make her a baby blanket. I'm just gonna do that. And he came back with a crochet hook, and I had never crocheted before. I had no idea what to do, but I had time on my hands, so I taught myself. And by the time my daughter was born, I had made 9 baby blankets. My problem is that I couldn't read a pattern, so I would end up just writing all my own patterns. And while on maternity leave with her, my friends were all having babies, so I would make them things, and then they'd ask me to make their friends things, and I just sort of word of mouth, oh yeah, I'll make this and that. And then I went back to work, it kind of fizzled off, and I got pregnant with my youngest daughter, and she was born at 31 weeks. So I was still very sick with her, and then when we spent 7 weeks in the hospital when she was born, and again had tons of time on my hands. So I don't know if you've experienced life in the NICU, but you're helpless. So I'm gonna cry. Every day I would make her a hat, and I would sit there, and every day it was different. I could make blankets and a hat, and it was just something I could do. She ended up having some health complications, and I couldn't return to my job. I don't know why I'm emotional. I don't normally get emotional when I talk about this. Anyway, I couldn't return to my job after she was born. So I decided that people were asking me to make things. I'm gonna start an Etsy shop. I've gotta supplement this income. My husband's self-employed as well. We gotta figure this out. So I dove in deep, and I learned everything I possibly could about starting an Etsy shop. It was terrifying. I opened it up, and within my first couple of weeks, I had my first sale, and it went to Boston, just outside Boston. And then a few days after that item was delivered, I got my second sale, and it was from that person's neighbor. And so I had there was 3 or 4 houses in my first sales on Etsy that came from people I didn't know, but they loved my stuff enough to tell their friends and their friends. Within my first few months on Etsy, I kind of gained traction and became quite successful with what I did and where I was, and I was able to supplement my income, and it was okay to leave my job. And I've since then just kept on learning everything I could about the Etsy platform and what to do. And I've since taken my patterns and started publishing my patterns. so that other people can make them. And I'm working currently with some tech editors and getting a lot of my most loved patterns ready to publish. Lots of people, one of my most requested patterns is my lobster hat, which is like Atlantic Canada, East Coast, Maine, New York kind of customer base that like people love the lobster hat, and it really is one of my favorites. But yeah, no, I've really been fortunate. Like my Etsy shop has provided me with opportunities that we never would have thought possible. My items are available in stores across Canada, as far away as Alberta and Montreal. You can find them in the MB box here in New Brunswick. And people would never have known that I existed had they not been able to find me on my shop. So it kind of opens up. I joke to people sometimes they don't really know much about Etsy, and I say, well, it's like Google for handmade. You just type it in and you find someone that makes it for you specifically. You can request it, you can find exactly what you're looking for, and oftentimes in the exact materials that you're looking for, with meaning, with purpose. And I think that's one of the big advantages that customers have on Etsy, is that you have direct contact with that maker, and you have no idea how much heart and soul goes into these products they make. And there's a quote, and it's my favorite maker quote, and it's, when you buy from a handmade seller, you're not just buying an object, you're buying hundreds of hours of failures and experimentations. You're buying days, weeks, and months of frustrations and moments of pure joy. You're not just buying a thing, you're buying a piece of a heart, a part of a soul, and a moment in someone's life. And I love that so much, because it embodies what it is to be an Etsy seller. Is you're literally selling a moment in your life. You're selling where you are in the world right then, and how it inspires you, and how that piece came to be. And oftentimes it's going literally across the world, and they're taking a little piece of New Brunswick in my case, and that's something that resonates with them as well. And that's been my favorite part about selling on Etsy, is that there have been really crazy times in my life, and I can remember pieces I've sent, and those items stick out as things I made during that time. And those items, when you got comments back or messages on Instagram, and it's just like, it's two stories almost connecting. Like, this is what happened in my life, this is, my kid's favorite hat, or it's just something that bonds you in a weird way that, it's the realness behind what you're buying on Etsy, not even so much what you're actually buying. But yeah, I am a maker. I love, at some point over this weekend, I will do a studio tour. I am currently cleaning my studio. Coronavirus has sort of made this the catch-all room, the rec room, the art room, and we've sort of not, it's been designated, but it's also been designated for kind of multi-purpose, fun, creative spaces for everybody in our house. So yeah, hopefully we will get that done. But yeah, I think it's really important to bring customers into our creative spaces, and to show them what goes on behind the scenes. And I currently have somebody under the table with me right now, because this is real life. This is how I make. This is what we do. She's coming. My big inspirations for what I make, and I'm not going to make something that I wouldn't put on my own kids or myself, and that's a really big thing for me, is that it sticks out. It sticks out that way you're buying a little bit of, you know, myself, like I said, and what inspires me and my kids and where I'm from, and the fact that, you know, it's freezing here, so you always need warm, cozy things. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this weekend, and I am going to sign off here and see you live in the booth and check in with you and see what you're up to and just enjoy and have fun. And don't forget to take home or keep home some amazing goodies, because they're going to show right up at your doorstep and you're going to love them. So thanks for coming by. See ya.